Howdy all, I'm Adam Renaissance Nerd, and welcome to the Dune Prophecy Season 1 finale review, because yes, this show got Season 2 renewal. We'll talk about that towards the end. I have my theories and fact-based logic on how it even gets Season 2, because nobody watched this. Nobody watched this. Literally. It barely charts on Samba after the premiere, and it doesn't even chart on Nielsen's original streamings. Doesn't at all. So how it got Season 2, I have an explanation. It makes sense when you lay it out. Either way, we're not going to spend a lot of time here. I don't want to waste any more time because let's be honest. I wasted my time. You wasted your time even caring about this. I hope you enjoyed my rantings and ravings for the past month and a half. And also, this has been a thankless, sort of fruitless endeavor. Because I'm going to be honest, I've pissed off more people than actually probably got people interested in caring about Dune. Because I've been getting it from all sides here. You either hate me because I'm shitting on this show, or you hate me because I actually am okay with Brian Herbert and Kevin G. Anderson, who, even though they signed off on the show, this isn't even their content. That's a point that a lot of people either fail to understand or want to use it as a fake, disingenuous arguing point. What they used in this show isn't even their content. It's butchered versions of their content. That simple, because we're going to get right to it. They start off in this season finale with more flashbacks to the murder of Dorothea. And yes, as I detailed way back in the first review, Valia does kill Dorothea using the voice. But it's a very different scenario. It's not this, she killed her in the middle because Dorothea wasn't going to go along with Raquel's plan. No, Dorothea was always going to go, well, not always, excuse me. She was going to go along with Raquel's plan once she opened up her mind and saw everything Dorothea wanted to do. Once Dorothea passed everything along. Once Raquel had passed everything along. So Dorothea was on board. This whole arc now that they are going with in this episode and going forward, that Dorothea is anti-Raquella and Raquella's vision for the breeding program, that is fake and false. Didn't happen that way. Either way, so they re-show the flashback and show that Valia's little cohort of racially diverse whammons were all in on it and with her, and they hid the body. And at the same time, then eventually they all decided to get together to murder the rest of Dorothea's followers, who were Butlerian, and then hid them in the well to be discovered later in the episode. At the same time, during all the flashbacks, we learn about Tula, who got the preggies from F and the Atreides, who she, if I remember correctly in the books, didn't actually F because they got married that day and hadn't effed yet, and then she killed him, and she didn't kill his whole clan on fake planet, not Caladan, because that's not how it happened. But you have to set it up, let the one boy escape, so that Travis Fimmel can exist, and that's that whole thing, all right? And then Tula, during her time here on Wallach 9, is busy trying to find a way to deal with the sudden and convenient machine virus that exists in everybody. And her and another former sister who's a Sook doctor, they try to do it and it kills her, and she learns that you can't fight it. You have to let the fear pass through you. I told you, I was right on that one. This is the origin of the mantra. Let fear pass through you. Fear is the mind killer. Let it pass through you. They decided that this is the origin for fear is the mind killer mantra. They do it. They do it at the end. And then because Tula doesn't want to kill Travis Fimmel, Desmond Hart, she's going to fly off to Wallach 9. I'm sorry, it's Lucis Secundus to try and stop him. Mind you, they all seem to forget, and I find this fascinatingly amusing, that if this show of all shows forgets that this is the one time where instant travel is allowed, because that's what folding space is. It's instantaneous travel. So time, this whole show has maybe taken place over 4 days. It hasn't been weeks. It's been a few days with what's been going on. Yet at one point, when we go back to little brown girl who's now an abomination, yes, that's the thing. She's an abomination now. She tries to convince her little friend, let me out. When I was in the spice tank for days, bitch, you were in there for 24 hours. You were not in there for days. You were in the spice tank becoming an abomination for 24 hours. That's the truth. Very simple. Anyway, this little story here is what I mentioned a minute ago. So a little brown girl who becomes an abomination, she tricks her way out, gets released, and it's Dorothea, and we have this whole thing where Dorothea is now in control. And as I said a few episodes ago, this review, I did say one of the other things I was right on, and I was wrong on a few things. Let me remind you that. I've been wrong clearly on a few things because I didn't realize what the season 2 setup was, and we'll get to that towards the end. Anyway, this is the origin story for Abominations as well, obviously, because Dorothea is now fully in control, and she's now leading a rebellion on Wallach 9 because all the orange Catholic Bible chicks who like her things, are now ready to follow her as she's revealed everything that's going on that Valya's been planning, and Valya and Tula and their little cohorts of diversity have lost all power. They discover dead bodies. She shows them all the AI breeding room and all that kind of stuff, which isn't really even like that. It was more of just a series of computers in the book. It wasn't a single AI entity that controls everything. No, it was a bunch of sisters sitting at computers entering data. That's all it was. It's not this grand AI thing that has digital stuff everywhere and bringing up stuff. That's not what it was. But again, they butchered something that was there to make it their own. Right. And then she's going to lead a rebellion. Yay, we're Butlerians now. We're Orange Catholic Bible, blah, 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 whatever. It's done. But that's now the origin story for Abomination. All right, everything else happens on Seleucus Secundus. Valya, because she feels like everything has gone to pot with trying to get Slut Princess on the throne, she now decides that it's time to murder Weak Strong. It's time to get him out of the way. And even though diverse chick, baby mama for Thirst Trap Constantine, who isn't in the episode at all, even though she's happily effing Mark Strong now, she goes along with it for the moment because she does actually love him, even though she imprinted on him. They got to get that little bit of actual lore in there about imprinting, where if you use sexual techniques, you basically get someone to be unable to do you harm because you make it feel as though you become bonded on literally a genetic level of sorts. It's a very unique thing, but it has to happen through sex. Anyway, she's not completely into it, but she's gonna go almost all the way with it. Because what happens here is this. So Valya sets into motion a plan, to have Mark Strong taken down. At the same time, Mark Strong has said to Travis Fimmel, I don't trust you anymore. I'm going to go with the sisters, which pisses him off to form an alliance with Queen from The Witcher, who decides to basically overthrow him, yet not overthrow him, having him be a puppet. Because he's angry at her because she threw Slut Princess in jail for trying to free fake tradies. Now, I'm going to skip over a lot of stuff because this is an hour and 20 minutes of fluff and bullshit. It was painful, all right? We cut to the chase. We're cutting to the chase. So Valya's plan is this. Take girl who is a face dancer, they admit it. She escaped from the Tailaxu because she was their experiment and they abused her. They actually say it without calling it a face dancer. So you get use face dancer to replace Slut Princess while Valya basically insults Weak Strong to get herself arrested, telling him that his whole life was nothing but a manipulation, that he's never had free will his entire life, and he hates it. He has her arrested, and she breaks everybody out. They break out fake tradies, and here's a very and I understand that due to the age of the actress who's playing Valya, whose name I can't remember at the moment. Yeah, she's not about to do hard action scenes, and she gets through everything by using the voice. Point is, though, Valya is a sword master. She's a sword master. She doesn't need to use the voice to get everything she wants. She can kick ass and take names all on her own. It's a very simple thing, but no. She uses the voice to do everything, and fake tradies and her and Slut Princess fight their way out eventually. And it gets to be a problem because during all this, Weak Strong goes to face Baby Mama, and she reveals that Valia was going to poison her, when in fact she won't go ahead with it. But Mark Strong, Weak Strong, decides to do the one thing he can possibly do. The one thing he can control is taking his own life. So he ganks himself, and while she's crying over his body, here comes Queen Witcher for a day and takes the poison and kills her, and then claims the Emperor's been murdered. So now the palace is on high alert. Seleucus Secundus on high alert. You get a stupid scene where you got fake Atreides and Slut Princess, very poorly choreographed, fighting together through guards. Meanwhile, through this whole thing, Travis Fimmel is positioning himself to meet up with Valia after the face dancer bitch stabs him when she tries to sucker him in. He survives it. He's got a wound, but he's okay. And it's all leading up to one-on-one with Travis Fimmel and Valia, where they have a go at it, where she says, bring on your attack that causes the thing, the burning, the blah-de-blah. This is where I was wrong, yet right about several things. As I said, I was right about the fear is the mind killer mantra, because Tool's going to show up while Valia's dying and walk her through it on how to beat it. Meanwhile, during this, though, a couple of my theories are now out the window. The whole prophecy is not about, it's yes and no, because it's not clear. It could be another thing here, and I'll explain that in a second. As Valia is busy letting the fear pass through her, she sees what the prophecy was, and it's not a prophecy, it's a point of view from Travis Fimmel when, after he was swallowed by a worm, or maybe survived the worm attack, maybe not swallowed, he was abducted by somebody, and the blue eyes, it wasn't Omnius. Okay, I was wrong. I can say that because I'm a man. I can admit when I'm wrong. Okay? Prediction wrong. It wasn't a vision of Omnius watching from somewhere secret while he's rebuilding himself. No, it was, in fact, just an AI machine surgically putting Travis Fimmel back together and implanting the machine disease control in his right eye. And somebody watching from the shadows. Now, that somebody could be Erasmus. So it still could sort of be another version of what my prediction was. But I can say I was wrong saying the blue eyes were Omnius watching. No, it could be Erasmus, because Erasmus is on the loose at this point. Although, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going to explain why, no matter what, my right or wrong predictions are irrelevant, because I had a realization watching this yesterday. Anyway, so that's it. And Valia survives, and we learn that somebody else, there's a third party in the shadows manipulating things. And Travis Fimmel, even though he should sort of be bleeding out, isn't. Tula convinces Valia not to kill him, by saying, I could have stopped your shit at any time, but you now have to trust me because I always trusted you, blah, blah, blah. Bad writing, bad performances. Valia gives up, saying, yeah, sure, great, I'm going to go and be a player in the shadows now, too. I relinquish all my powers. I shouldn't say it, but she basically gives up power as Mother Superior of the Bene Gesserit to go off with fake Atreides and Slut Princess to Arrakis. Meanwhile, Tula has a moment where she's gonna be reunited with Travis Fimmel, her son, and he heard the whole thing, so he knows it, and they hug for a second, and you think he's gonna forgive her, but no, he says has her arrested, and that's kind of that. So I think I've gotten to everything. Let's review real quick. Dorothea, as Abomination, a little brown girl who's an abomination, she is now in control of the Sisterhood on Wallach 9. Weak Strong is dead. So is his baby mama for Thirst Traps Constantine. Queen for the Day from Witcher, working with Travis Fimmel, has now seized power. She was going to seize power anyway to try and manipulate Mark Strong as a puppet, but now she's going to seize power. Probably try and put Constantine. No, she won't. She hates Constantine. Sorry, I forgot. He's not her son. Yeah. So I don't know what she's going to do because Slut Princess ain't there anymore. So I have no idea how they're going to work that. Valia. Oh, yeah, I forgot also Baron Harkonnen, whose name I don't care about. He spied on Valia's plan. So he has all the evidence that Valia was a traitor. And he's probably going to use that as leverage to get strong in the Landsrad next season. Let's see. Yeah, so Travis Fimmel found out his mom. We found out Travis Fimmel's been manipulated by by somebody who's using thinking machines. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. That's it. That's all of it. And that took an hour and 20 minutes for them to do all of that. It's boring as bullshit. Now, obviously, as I said, my predictions, I was wrong about a couple of things. I was right about the mantra. I was right about, what else was I right about? I was right about them interfering, using real Dune lore, like the first time an Atreides and a Harkonnen come together for the breeding program. That there's a whole scene where they talk about our lines have never intersected with Atreides, and look how powerful he can be. There is the groundwork for using that as the beginning of the breeding program of Quiz's Hadarks. I wasn't really right about that, but they are clearly, I think, still putting things into place for that. I was wrong about Omnius. I was wrong about them openly saying using Travis Fimmel as a proto Kwisatz Haderach. He's just got some AI bullshit in his eye. He has no powers. Other than that, that's pretty much it. And the reason I see myself as having no chance to be right or wrong either way is because I was doing what I do with this, what I try to do sometimes when I'm reviewing Disney Star Wars. I try to apply real lore and logic to the thought process of people who aren't. That's the problem. I'm trying to use lore to predict things, and they aren't even using lore to write this. So I was never going to win. I was always going to be either very right or very wrong or a gray area, which is kind of where I feel I am now. But I'm done with this. I'm done. It has a season 2, but I'm out. I ain't going back because here's the thing. Oh, it got a season 2. It must be successful. No, we've got for the most recent situation I can use this for, we've got a Velma situation. They pre-signed. It was already in the contract for probably 12 episodes. And the geniuses who wrote this, who worked on this, who put it all together, thought, oh, hey, we've got a deal for 12 episodes. We'll film it all, and then we're going to split it into 2 seasons. So the announcement that they get to season 2, it was always going to have a season 2. That's the logic of this. They had a deal for 12 episodes. They've likely already filmed it or are about to film it. So that's it. That's how it got a season 2. This thing doesn't get a season 3. And I'm not interested enough to even cover season 2. 1, because clearly only a few of you really give a damn about my ranting and ravings on this. And 2, as I said, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place here. I'm getting it from all sides. You either hate me because I hate it, or you hate me because I'm okay with what Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson did. And that's the thing. If it was a regular situation where it's just a lot of hate and okay, good job for being a raving nerd on this, great. But you know what? This is like when I talk about dealing with elitist Gundam fans when I'm dealing with anime, elitist Dune fans, and if you are one of these, I'm not apologizing because you know what? I'm not here to try and win all sides and make you love me. I'm here to give my true, unvarnished opinion on things. And if you don't like it, you can suck it. Dealing with elitist Dune fans is annoying because if you don't like it exactly the way they like it, they want to just shit on it. Adam, you shit on Disney Star Wars fans. Well, difference here is that Brian Herbert was the man's son. He was the heir to his stuff. He used the material to do the best he could. Disney, they threw out everything that isn't real when it came to Star Wars. So there is no legitimacy. There's some legitimacy here, and that's enough for me to find enjoyment in it. But I don't want to hear it anymore. This is pointless. I liked it better, and I'm going back to it where I don't talk about Dune. I don't talk about it. I don't want to talk about the shitty movies that Denis Villeneuve made. I don't want to talk about anything. I'm going back to being a very introverted Dune fan. Life is happier and simple that way. It's like playing solo player games, single player games. It's much easier that way. I don't have to deal with the bullshit. So I'm out. I'm done. If you have enjoyed these, thank you for watching all 6 reviews. Hit those like buttons. If you like the fact that I have my opinion, I'm not influenced by others, I invite you to join the channel, subscribe, check everything out. Stick around for other reviews, streams, and takes. And I'll see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.